Hi, honey. Welcome to Cake Costing 101. This is a fundamental breakdown where I take you through everything and anything you need to know when it comes to you understanding the rudiment of cake costing. And here is the most important or most interesting part of this entire cake costing masterclass. I've been costing my cake this way for the past couple of years in order to ensure profitability, consistency, and sustainability. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I cost a single layer 8 inches buttercream cake that is selling for 25,000 naira and how all of this pricing comes together to form a perfect pricing structure. Now, let's get to step one. Step one is ingredients. You see, it's very, very important that you take in the rule of ingredients. And I will tell you that once your ingredient is taking up more than 50% of the total amount, then you should know that something is wrong. Your pricing needs adaptation or it needs adjustment outrightly. Now, by ingredients, I'm talking about both the cake and the buttercream. So let me go to the cake section first. For the cake, I'm going to be pricing for a vanilla buttercream cake. Now, understand here that this is just like my way of breaking it down to you. You can switch the variables, insert new things that you know, okay, maybe you are doing an all-based cake, you are doing a butter-based cake, out of you or whatnot. And also, do not forget that pricing changes or differs from location to location. So this is just like a structurized analysis of how I do mine, which will also give you that information and you switch into the variations as it deems fit with you. Now, for me, really, I'm going to say for the cake, of course, I'll be needing flour. So with me here, I have like an about sketch of 1,000 naira for my flour. For my sugar, I have 800 naira. My flour takes just 1,000 naira. My sugar is 800 naira. Eggs 1.2, margarine 1.8. By MFBPS, I'm talking about milk, flavor, baking powder, and salt for just 700 naira. Now, the sum total of this one that goes into my actual cake here is what? Is 5,500 naira. Good. Now, this is actual costing. Now, let me try to cost for my buttercream too. Now, for my buttercream, I use white buttercream Crisco shortening. Now, for my Crisco, I get it for 2,000 naira. Icing sugar for 35. C and F, I'm talking about the color and the flavor. Now, flavor is a must, but color is like optional most of the times because I like working on white canvas cakes. Now, the sum total of this one is about 6,300. Now, you need to understand something here. It is not that I'm going to use all of this icing sugar or all of this buttercream at the end of the day to make this cake. But it is very, very important for me to cost it and include it in my costing. Why? Because even though I'm going to have about 100 to 200 grams left, even if I make it from scratch newly, that will also add as profit and as benefit for me as the baker. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So I'm just fixing this particular amount in here as okay, this is the amount I'm buying this is the amount I'm buying this. It will surely remain as time goes on, and for that it's a benefit for me because I'm working on it and that adds at the end of the day to my profit. Now, in a more analytical way, this is step one. Step one is costing my cake. Step two is costing my buttercream. Now, let us try to add these two together to give us a step three. That means the addition of 5,500 and 6,300. We are having what now? We are having about 11,800. Keep that in your palms. Now, let's move on to step 4, which is calculating our L and S. L and S means what? Labor and skill. My handwriting might look funny and quite disastrous, but just let's work with that. Now, by L&S, I'm talking about your mixing, your baking, your leveling and filling, your buttercream coating, your decoration finishing, your packaging preparation. That is what everything that comes into labor and skill. As I used to tell people that most times for baking and preparation, I always like to allot 2,500 naira. Just because that is how I feel like doing it. You can work around the prices and switch it around for your own self, but that is just what makes me, like, that is just what I work for. Now, for my buttercream application and like cake smoothing, cake decoration, the actual labor time, I also charge that one for 2,000 naira. Now, most times I switch around 2,000 naira for the baking, 2,500 for the decoration. What works for you? Now, do not forget that I also charge for simple design and like complicated designs. If the design is simple, don't forget that you are calculating for what? A single layer size 8 cake. It is quite simple. It's not something too generic. I like to charge just 1,500 naira for that. Now, if you calculate all of this thing that I said, 2,500, 2,000, and what? And 1,500. That is how much? That is 6,000 naira. Now, most baker does this problem a lot. Once you are done with calculating for your ingredients, you just add profit and you are done. No, that's not how it's meant to be. Do you understand? So this is step one. This is step one. This is step two. This is step three, and this is step four. Yeah. Now let us move on to step 5. And step 5 is calculating our overheads. These are unavoidable but then invisible expenses that you're going to come across. I'm talking about gas. Right now, I'm using electricity. Or I'm using, you might buy petrol, calculate for your electricity, calculate for the gas, the water. What else? The logistics, the transportation you're using to take. Now, the logistics here or the transportation I'm talking about here is not the one you are going to do delivery to your customers. That is another thing entirely. This one is okay. Your transportation of when you are going to get the ingredients. You calculate it, you include it. Because where are you going to get those money from? Do you understand? This is also where the cake box, the cake board, the nylon, the sticker, the packaging nylon, everything comes in to this overhead. Because let's be very sincere with ourselves. If you want to turn a blind eye to this overhead, it will only look like money is coming in and you will not have anything to show up at the end of the month or at the end of what? At the end of that particular order. You include it in it. Do you understand? So now for my overheads, I like to work around something. I like to do a more structurizing, like I have a fixed amount. My G and E, I'm talking about my gas and my electricity. It's a fixed amount. 1, 2. For my water, I like to calculate 500 naira because let's be sincere with ourselves. I'm talking about the one you use to wash the plates, the one you're using when you're baking and all of that. For your packaging, this is covering cake box, cake board, and also my C card. I'm going to add to it at the end of the day. I calculate 1,500. Do you understand? And also for transport, going to get all of the ingredients and all of these things, I calculated 1,000 naira. Now this is going to sum up to a total of what? 4,200 naira. Keep that in your palms again. Now, contrary to popular opinion, I like to calculate my base costing. Now, what do I mean by base costing? I'm talking about you adding up all of these variables. Now, we have 11,800, we have 4,200, and we have 6,000 naira. By this, we'll be having a sum total of what? 22,000 naira. Now, with this 22,000 naira, this is your total cost that your cake must sell for. Even though you are running ads, you are doing promo, you are doing anything, your size, my single layer size 8 cake will never ever sell for anything less than 22,000 naira. Are you with me? This is because I've turned everything into consideration. Now, you know I mentioned something earlier here that some things here might remain, might fit in, my labor and this ones, like it changes by time. You're already infusing a little amount there. But regardless, do not sell. If anything you arrive at this point, your cake should not sell for anything lesser than this. So even though you want to run a promo, you want to give discount, you want to do familiarity, it must not be less than 22,000 naira. That now leads me to the rule of profit. My rule of profit when I'm pricing is based on, I like to just calculate it based on, okay, at the end of the day, I've been able to get certain profit or certain small amount from this entire thing. Now, I'm just going to add, normally for my own profit rate, I do not really have like a specific profit rate, but I'll be very sincere with you. My profit rate is like marginal. For my single layer size 8 cake, 3,000. For my size 10 cake, 5,000. Like that. My profit rate for bento cake, I want you in the comment section, if my profit rate for single layer size 8 cake is 3,000 naira, in the comment section, I want you to answer me, what do you think my profit rate or my profit margin for a bento cake would be, for a single layer size 5 cake would be, for a single layer size 6 cake would be, and a single layer size 7 cake would be. Now, that is in here. I'm just going to add in 3,000 naira. If you confirm this thing together, you have a total of what? 25,000 naira. Are we together? Now, I want us to be very, very much practical with ourselves. If you look at this ingredients is 11.8, L and S, which is labor and skills, is 6,000, overhead is 4,2, profit is 3,000 naira. Now, if you watch the demo session, like the demo class we posted on Instagram, TikTok, and across platforms, I spoke about the percentage margin, yeah, and I mentioned that if your ingredients can cost more than 50% of the total amount of your cake that it is selling for, not the base cost. If it can cost more than 50%, which is more than half of 25,000 naira, then there is problem. Now look at this. 11.8 is just 45, is just 47%, it's not up to 50. The labor and skill is 6,000 naira, which is 24%. Overhead is 4,200 naira, which is just 17%, and your profit is 12,000 naira. Now, this particular percentage are not forced. They are able, like we're able to arrive at this cost based on our practical analysis of every single thing. And here is a very important thing, and what I believe in. If you know your numbers and you can price, you'll be able to price confidently. Like your cake costing will be much more structured. You'll be able to price confidently and stop second guessing. And also people would, like, you'll be able to stand on your prices. And like when people are trying to price you down, you'll be able to like say, okay, this is what I can remove from, this is what I cannot remove from. Do you understand the entire concept? And at the end of the day, I hope this entire process of cake costing has been practical enough, analytical, and well detailed for you to grasp the details of cake costing at its depth. And I hope you are able to like understand the entire thing. In case you have any questions or you need more clarity on this particular subject matter, kindly drop them in the comment section. In case you want more productive, educational, and informative content like this, kindly like this video, share, and drop a comment in the comment section, and I'll be very much glad to keep posting things relating to running a cake business and all of that. In case the first time I'm coming across any of my content, I'm Fawaz the Cake Boy, and I'm a skilled meal baker, an exceptional cake trainer, and the best cake party vendor in Nigeria. And for record purpose, I am on a journey to building a sustainable and reputable cake business here in University of Ilorin as a law student before the end of 2026, and I'll be very much glad for us to journey together. Without further ado, we go again tomorrow. Allahumma barik.